Hello friends, best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Victor Fursov, I'm a research entomologist, and this is my channel devoted to entomology, science about insects. And today we have mutual joint online stream, direct online stream in English language for English-speaking countries and for other countries who can understand English. So this is for wider audience. And I also today I invited just special guest, devoted college student, very interesting one, who is devoted entomologist from young age. This is Bogdan. He's from Bulgaria, from Sofia. Bogdan, tell a few words about yourself. What are you interested in, and what is your hobby? Why you are interested? What do you want from insects? Do you want to collect them? Do you want to breed them? Do you want to study them? What are your interests?
Hello everyone, I am Bogdan. I am from Sofia and I am a young research entomologist who is breeding beetles and grasshoppers. I want to admire them to my audience and to see the life cycles of poorly documented species, because not all species are well known. And I am breeding some beetles who are very common in my area, but nothing is known about their biology, or nothing so so much is known about them. And I have a YouTube channel about them. I breed locusts, grasshoppers, different kinds of beetles. I've breeded over 27 species of beetles, and I am going to breed more of them to show their life cycle and to make some research on them. And I would like to invite more people to work with me, and we can discover new things about beetles together.
Did you start to collect insects from beetles? What first beetle did you collect, and what first beetle surprised you? Why did you start from beetles?
The first beetle who surprised me is actually very common in parks, dried areas, or riversides, and it was the first one who I've ever kept. This is Harpalus affinis, the metallic seed beetle, who is a very common species of Harpaline ground beetles, who are the most common and widely distributed groups of ground beetles. There are over
200 species.
20,000 species. No, 20,000 species of beetles in this subfamily. And I started with this because it was very much my childhood, and I collected them. And I am actually the first one who mated them in captivity and was able to feed them with different kinds of grass seeds. And actually, I observed its pairing and collected many data about it. But this species is a bit tricky, because I think the larvae need to burrow themselves in holes under rocks, and are not easy to find, because they're found in moist environments where they dig in the dirt and they make holes, and they prey on different insects. Sometimes adults take care of them, but the best care adults take is that they actually lay eggs in special nests they build. I've observed them. They make tunnels that are maybe about 15 centimeters
deep underground.
Underground, and they are the only carabids that are known to make nests. This genus, Harpaus. This is very interesting and widely distributed genus with around 5 or 6 species in my region, like Harpaus latus.
Harpaus is a pretty. This species is a pretty big one. What is the size of beetle and larva?
The size of beetle is between 5 and 7 millimeters.
Not very big.
Larva is around 8 or 9 millimeters. But I am the first one who observed the larvae in nature, because larvae are very common during March and April, when adults go outside and fly and run in parks, on gardens, on bright sunlight. But they are primarily night active. They are nocturnal and they feed at night. During the day, they fly most of the time, and they are outside, so they are very easy to find and easy to spot. They are metallic green. The males are metallic green. The color ranges from purple to violet to brown. The females are more not metallically shined. They are brownish, brown to gray, and are more common than males. Males do not need food for reproduction. They are born with the energy to create sperm and to mate with females, and then females need more food because they have to produce eggs, and the exact number of eggs they lay is not known. It's between 7 and 8, but this is these are the eggs they carry in their reproductive system, but how much they lay, it's not known. And for some reason, mine, I've mated this species. I've researched them. The mating occurs at night, primarily at around midnight, and takes about 2.5 hours to last. And this species is very interesting because it's herbivore, and it feeds on grass seeds, on different kinds of grasses and plants. For example, on dandelion, crabgrass, different kinds of poa.
Can it feed on also probably on wheat, on just
on wheat?
So can they consider it as a pest?
Yes, no, it's not a pest. It's actually a good in biocontrol, but because they are used for biological control on the cabbage root fly. You know it? It's a very interesting pest species on cabbage, and actually on peach aphid.
All right, right.
The genus we call Siphon, and other, and can be used for control of invasive weeds like dandelion, because they feed on the seeds of the plants. They can also feed on dusty plant stems, and also on nectar and pollen. They are also predaceous. They feed on many kinds of different small insect species, like different kinds of larvae, beetle and fly larvae, spiders, worms, and aphids also, and different species of different species that are considered pest species, like moth larvae, for example.
Did you keep these beetles in captivity in plastic cages in springtime, in summertime?
Yes, I breed them, and they're very long-lived in captivity. They can live around 2 years in captivity if kept good. If kept cool, they like cool temperature around 20 degrees, because the hotter they are, the more inactive they become. So I have seen an interesting phenomenon when this species, when it's June and it becomes hotter, they burrow in the ground and can stay without moving for around 3 weeks. And most of them die, but some of them leave the next generation with them. And in captivity, they're interesting to observe, but because they have interesting communication between them. Here I have some saved specimens of this species.
How many beetles did you keep in cage? Just 3, 5, or 10, just together?
Two males and 4 females, because they are very interesting. This, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, right.
A female of Harpalus affinis that died, and I've saved her for food for Anthrenops verbas. And it's very interesting because when they die, they leave themselves in the substrate. The substrate I use is the soil from parks and gardens where this species lives, and it's best for them because they lay their eggs in them. But this species does not need any hides, because it burrows in the substrate, and whatever they can remain in there for the day, and they came in nighttime to breed and to eat, because they can eat very much, and they can eat a wide variety of plants, as I said, around 100 grass seeds.
And also they're phytophagous and they're predaceous.
Yes, and also they are mycophagous and actually detritivagous, and can eat eggs of different insects. But most frequently they use different kinds of aphids to feed on. There are many species like them. I like to breed them. For example, Harpalus rufipes, and actually many species like Harpalus latus and Harpalus anxious, but they can be they have differences, and this species is very closely related to Harpalus distinguendus and Harpalus anxious. They're found in both very dry ground, like in parks or in gardens.
But in your cages, the soil is a little bit wet, or just dry?
Wet, because the eggs need this moisture, around 20 to 30% moisture for better growth, and the eggs take around 1 week to mature, and the larvae have to be separated because they are cannibalistic. And I have one container for each larvae. And actually, this species of beetle is not very prolific. They lay around a dozen eggs and not more. And then they can mate again in 2 or 3 weeks time. And then when they overwinter, they need a very moist environment, almost wet environment. But the larvae have very short development. They develop in around 2 or 3 months, and they have 3 life stages. And then they spin a pupa underground, very deep underground, around 20 to 30 centimeters.
But how did you keep them? If you have container, you need to have a lot of soil. Just so many soil.
And some rock, because larvae live under rocks, but the entrance of the hole is under rocks, and they never come out of the rocks, and can be very hard to observe and to feed, because the larvae cannot move very well, and the food have to be delivered to them. I feed them primarily on insects like aphids, or I found one trick that helps them get loud.
But question: if you say larvae are living underground in holes, so do I make a hole like ants, so you can observe the hole like ants' hole, so you can feed them near the hole, or it's hidden, just simple around, and you cannot see hole? How did you recognize that there are some larvae? Did you dig it? Soil?
No.
Did you dig soil?
No,
and you found, oh, larvae, or you found at night time, so we're crawling on the surface?
No, they are not crawling.
Not crawling.
They are living their life inside, like tiger beetle larvae.
Yes.
But the biggest.
So we're coming like up and down, like tiger beetle.
Yes, but they are distinguished because the whole of Harpalus larvae are horizontal, not vertical.
Like this. And then, yes, but then just up a little bit.
On angle. And the end of the hole is like a small camera where the larvae pupates.
Right.
But this hole is not correct. It's not made by larvae. This is the nest made by adults.
Yeah, this is parenting behavior. But yes, beetle, who is a parent, mother, making a hole like a nest, laying eggs, and then just escape, or just sitting and, or just maybe sitting certain time, just as a guard.
It's only making and it's getting out because they made multiple times, and they are not caring for their generation.
Yeah.
The larvae can actually cannibalize if you keep them. If you don't separate them, they can eat themselves, and actually they cannot survive. So I like to keep them separate, like tiger beetle larvae. Actually, I have some males right here. The males are interesting behavior, and interesting things about them is that
but did you keep them? If you just need to receive larvae from underground, you need to dig soil and maybe put them in small containers, like in petri dishes, or in small containers, one by one.
But I don't have photos of the larvae, but the larvae looks like the normal. They are very closely related to Pterostichinae, this subfamily of beetles.
Carabidae family, ground beetles.
Yes, and these beetles have two generations here, and the summer generation always appears in July, and they are reproducing only if they have enough time. Sometimes males mate with the females, and females store the sperm, and they overwinter, and then they fertilize themselves in spring. Their breeding season is from mid-April to mid-July, and they can remain underground because during winter they overwinter under rocks and logs, under, for example, leaf litter or in moist soil. And they are actually they overwinter with other species of harpalos, and they are communicating with hairs, antennae, or visual signals. But this in behavior, this species is solitary. They only they are not so social. They only mate, and then they live a lone life.
But they are cannibalistic as adults. If a small adult come in and a big one adult come in, big beetle can eat small one, or just small one escape.
No, they are not cannibalistic as adults, and they are very poorly documented.
Yes, for sure.
Larvae and pupae. When I did the ground, I mistakenly destroy some of the pupae, and this wasn't good. I had around six adults. I found them in March, and they lived until August or September, and they died because I found some issues with food. Because during summertime, they feed on different types of grass than in springtime. During springtime, they feed on species like Poa pratensis and Poa trivialis or dandelions. During summertime, they feed on different species of crabgrass and different species of stellaria.
But you can feed them by aphids the whole summer. Aphids are very common everywhere.
Yes, but in my region, aphids disappeared during summertime because it became very hot and
very dry, right.
I feed adults fly larvae who are bigger and can sustain them during hot climates. And in summer, I keep them on in stairs where it's cooler and not in my laboratory where it becomes hot and I can't cool it down.
Yes, but you said you are keeping different beetles. For example, you said about small Harpalus, which is quite small but very interesting. But did you see someone like a big rhinoceros beetles nearby? If you in evening time?
They are not found in my region because we don't have a lot of forests. For example, in different places in Bulgaria, this species is very common, but it's protected right here, and because of the deforestation. But
in Ukraine, it's not protected, and it's usually not necessary to. This is rhinoceros beetle Arictus nasicornis, quite common one, and even living in city near my house, because sometimes we are living under cutted trees. If old tree was cut, larvae living just on roots. And
yes, but I'm studying species from Africa, like Oryctes boas or Oryctes agamemnon from North Africa. And a friend of mine from the Czech Republic, he actually studied this species and sent some pictures to me. He was in Ethiopia and actually found a lot of data about this species.
It's maybe more difficult to keep them because they are growing very slowly.
Yes, and they're not so difficult to keep, but I don't have rhinoceros beetles. I have other members of the subfamily Dynastinae. Actually, I have some Pentodon idiota species.
Right.
Beetle. You have a Russian word that describes them as a corn species, kukuruzny navoznik.
I see. Yes, or Pentadon idiota has no horn and is usually common in forest and in parks. Very common.
Yes. Actually, they do not inhabit forests. They are steppe species. They are found in soft, moist soil, and actually they can be very common in my area, but they have a very long life cycle, over 3 years, and I'm keeping them. I'm keeping some. I've kept some larvae. They feed on roots of dead plants and also alive plants, like some cultures like tomato and corn. They can eat the roots of different grass species, and the adults are mostly active during night, and they are actually around midnight or in late afternoon, where they walk very slow, and they during the day they hide under rocks or in grass, and they can be very common during June evenings. They can be found from May to August. For example, in Iran, its life cycle takes about 13 months to complete.
Yeah, we are talking about Pentadon idiota corn beetle. They're usually crawling on ground in city.
Yes.
But
they can climb on trees.
Right,
sometimes.
right. The same like a rhinoceros beetle sometimes can sit on tree.
Yes.
And this one, this is deer beetle, as we say, Lucanus cervus. This is very common in some forestry areas and very rare in city. Only in some parts.
There are different subspecies of these species, like Lucanus cervus or Acpesianus and other. What subspecies is this? Is this the cervus subspecies?
I guess it should be cervus. It's collected. Yes. This species is protected, but it was collected as dead under the tree, because sometimes you can search near the big tree, so adults, especially males, were dead and they're just laying near the tree. Sometimes some birds come in and hunting on them. Some birds like them very much.
Yes. I also keep a lot of ladybug species. Not a lot, only 2 species. The more common Harmonia axyridis, the multicolored Asian lady beetle, and the 7-spot lady beetle, Coccinella septempunctata. And I am very interested in ladybugs, as you can see my channel. Right now I'm posting some discussions about different Coccinellida genera, like Dahlia, Hylace, and Harmonia, or Haywomenes. I really like the African Haywomenes. I want to study them. I want to live and research insects in Africa, also in South Africa and Uganda and different countries. I actually want to travel to Africa and to do research on the local poorly documented species of ladybugs, and actually also tiger beetles.
Some tropical species are very attractive and quite a big one, for sure.
Yes.
Like in Africa, Goliath beetle is a very big one. These are from Vietnam. This beetle from Vietnam. Here's some.
This looks like Odontolobis species.
Yes, that's right. Odontolobis is this one. Two individuals. Odontolobis. This is Elateridae, and this is Scarabiidae. And one is.
And this, yes, the green one. I think it's from the subfamily Wampriminae.
Longhorn beetle.
Yes.
Odontolobis is very attractive, for sure.
Yes, there are different species and are very hard to breed. I see one question here. Can you bring live newly described? No, actually, it's forbidden to import exotic animals without permission. It's not dangerous, but there are diseases in Africa, and sometimes insects can bring diseases, and it's not a good idea to import exotic species to Europe because they can escape and become invasive species. So,
right.
It's not very necessary. Like I have some Harmonia axyridis right here, and some specimens collected.
But how do you feed them if you don't have many aphids? So you feed them with some fruits?
No, I'm not feeding them with fruits. I'm actually giving them nectar to sustain them during the hot and dry periods. Yes, dry specimens are okay. If you're interested, you can check my channel. It's T-Rex 307. Different species of beetles have different behavior, and I'm studying them. It can be very interesting. So I have actually I've collected some of my favorite tiger beetles. This is Cicindela campestris.
All right, yes, for sure.
The first one who managed to make a photo of the eggs and actually to breed this species, because it's considered the unbreedable species, and only in America one zoo has managed to breed them in Kentucky, and I am actually the second one who attempted and succeed with the breeding of Cicindela campestris. I feed them on mealworms and different insects I can catch. But you asked me for the species of aphids I'm raising the Harmonia axyridis on. It's actually Macrosiphum rose, the rose aphid. It's I think the best, but in the literature is said that Apis neri, the orange aphid, is the best species. But Harmonia axyridis feeds on different types of aphids, and not only Macrosiphum rose and Apis neri, but I feed them on Apis neri and also Acyrtosiphon pison, actually, the green pea aphid, which is very common.
But Harmonia can be predaceous on aphids and can feed on some fruits. Sometimes can be like a pest.
In America, for example, in Oklahoma, maybe, I'm not so sure, but they are considered a pest on grapevine, because when they feed on the juice of the fruits, they can remain in the grapevine, and when it's collected for vine production, the ladybugs are squished with the vine, and
yes,
this can affect the taste of the vine. So different insecticides are used to prevent Harmonia axyridis infestation on different types of grapevine. But this species was brought to USA from Japan in 1989, and because it's used for biocontrol of aphids, and it spread its distribution, and then in 19th it reached Europe and South Africa from the eastern populations, from the eastern part of the United States, and then they become the most invasive species of insects, maybe one of the most invasive species of insects on Earth, and they are very common everywhere in sometimes in artificial habitats, but mostly in meadows with short shrubs, and they can be very common. And they are active in daytime, maybe mostly on April or May, and they are very active during sunlight and hot weather conditions.
Did you keep some of these green beetles, these chaffer beetles?
Yes, I actually have some species. I have Cetonia aurata. I
Yes.
am making new hybrids of the both subspecies aurata and liwa, and I'm trying to make the subspecies aurata liwa, but it's not very successful right now. I have around 5 or 6 species of chaffers. I have Tropinota hirta. I'm the first one who attempted to breed this orchard pest species. I have Valgus hemipteros. This is the smallest chaffer in Europe. I have Trichius sexualis.
Still now, do you have larvae?
Yes, they overwinter.
Yeah.
They are overwintering in outside, and they are very interesting. I also have Orthoptera funesta larvae, and these are the chaffers that I'm keeping, and I'm the first one who documents the life cycle of Tropinota hirta, Trichius sexualis, and Valgus hemipteros. Actually, Orthoptera funesta was breeded before by a friend. I don't know. Do you know him? His name is Ben. He's very famous in Germany. He's breeding a lot of interesting and very widespread and common species. Actually, different tropical beetles.
He has a channel.
Yes. Yes. No, he has Instagram and.
Right.
He posts. Yes.
But did you say about some different beetles? And first, you said about your first observations. So did you photographs? Did you make video, or did you make short description? Do you have a diary? Do you have a written diary? This beetle,
Yes,
this little egg was laid on 1st day of May. Larva just hatched on 10th day of May. Larva hatched.
I have a diary,
Yes.
and I'm documenting everything that happens in my breeding laboratory, and this is very interesting for me because I like nature and insects, especially Orthoptera and Coleoptera. About Orthoptera, I can say that I have I've had in the past, I've breeded some very rare species of grasshoppers, and actually I want to preserve their habitat because I'm working with people who document different habitats and the impact on them, and they're preserving habitats, and this is very beneficial for the for survival of
And
the different.
you're talking about grasshoppers of which families? Just as a
Acrididae and Petigonidae.
Tetragonidae. And what species?
Yes.
How many? 6 species, 5 species. Did you keep them in the same in summertime?
Yes, in summertime I breed different types of Phaneropterinae and Gomphocerinae, but here in Bulgaria we have a lot of endemic species who are in the edge of extinction because of the destruction and buildings and everything. For example, we have one species of Sofia, who is endemic to the river mountains in a very small range, and it's very rare in there, and it's in our red list, and it's very interesting.
If you are keeping some insects in living culture, from time to time they are dying for sure. So, and big specimens, did you mount them just like in a small collection?
No, these are the only collections I have. These are, as I said, for food for carpet beetles. I'm very interested in the genus Anthrenus. I really like to breed all species from my region and document their larvae, because their larvae are very interesting with their hairy bodies and the funny name woolly bears that has been given to them because of this. And I actually want to travel again to Africa and breed and study some of the species that are found in there. Actually, it's very interesting to observe them, because their colors are very interesting and bright, and I really like them, because each species has own unique patterns that are formed by scales who are breaking down when the beetle is getting older. And my oldest beetles were only black and shiny because of the losing of scales, and this is these are characteristics that are known to them. And actually different species are different. So I haven't discovered new species. I read the questions down, and
yes, I see.
I really like really want to describe new species.
I have a question about your Dermestida beetles. If you have some of them, you can keep them on different food. So did you make kind of experiments? So to change moisture, to change temperature, to change food, to understand what food is better. So you can give for one cage one kind of food, for second cage in one cage one food, second food, and then another food. So to make tropical differences between them. What is food is the better?
No, I have only one culture, and I keep them on 3 different substrates.
Yeah.
The first one is oat wool that has been eaten by moths, and the second one are these dead dried insects that I'm keeping, and I keep a big colony actually to research on them, their behavior and their mating. Actually, the mating of Anthrenus verbaceo only takes about from 1 to 9 minutes, and then the female is fertilized, and then after around 5 to 7 days, she lays its eggs, and the eggs can be from 25 to 50 to 55 on a cluster, and then depending on the temperature, for example, if it's 15 degrees, they hatch from the eggs in about 50 days, and if it's 28, they hatch from their eggs in only about 12 days.
But if you are breeding some small Dermestidae, they are not very big, maybe 3-4 millimeters. But some Dermestidae,
range from 1.7 to 3.5 millimeters.
But some Dermestidae, some Dermestos, quite a big one, nearly 1 centimeter.
chance to breed Dermestis. Actually, they can be collected from dead, dried animals on the field.
Yes.
For example, Dermestis undulatus, Dermestis ater, and other species like Dermestis lardarius, the leather beetle. These three species are in my mind right now. I know more of them, but I can't remember.
Sometimes these Dermestidae are visible just in city, not outside in a park, in a field. Just near in a city, if you're walking on just the ground, you can see some crawling beetles. Sometimes very fast crawling. This is a ground beetle, very fast, and slowly coming. This is a Dermestis.
Yes, and they are very funny because a lot of people actually step on them. This is the problem with Harpavus affinis, because they often cross park roads and different open terrains. Many people step on them and kill them.
Just crash them. Just crash them.
Yes.
Sometimes
and, they remain shiny on the ground, and this is very sad because when I go to the park, I always look for them, and I'm not stepping on them. I'm collecting them, and then I'm breeding them. They are they're very interesting to observe because they actually communicate, and when I feed them grass seeds, they carry them to their burrows and they collect them. This is interesting behavior I've witnessed this spring, and they are keeping them for later consumption.
And sometimes on ground in early May time, in June, some Sylphidae beetles are very visible. Big Sylphidae, which are consuming some dead bodies of birds, animals. And Sylphidae beetles, black one, were a very big one. So
yes, I really like them because they are one of my favorite families, but it's not very safe to keep them because you need dead animals, and this can bring diseases, and
right.
not so safe to breed them.
Yes, for sure. But in many cases, just boys who are just walking on streets see, oh, beetle, just smash it.
Yes, this is very bad.
Yes, some people have very poor education.
Yes. I have some questions.
Okay.
How many species have you discovered?
If you know from my channel, on my channel I'm talking about different insects. Sometimes I'm talking about big insects like wasps and hornets, like this one. Yesterday I had a stream about Vespa velutina, Vespa crabra, but this is just for curiosity and just for education. But I'm studying small insects. My small insects are parasitic insects, were just on the background like that. So you can see here.
So you are studying parasitic insects from the family
Trichogrammatidae.
Trichogrammatidae, yes.
Especially, and some Chalcidae, this is superfamily. Chalcid wasps were pretty small, about 1 millimeter size. And during my work of in my Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences, I described some species of different parasitic Hymenoptera, and also I described some species of flies when I was student in university and later. So totally I described 53 species of insects, flies and parasitic wasps. So recently, for example, we described with Dutch entomologist, we described 2 species. I made morphological description, and Dutch scientists, we did DNA study, and they did observation for biology for 2 species of Trichogramma from Panama. They found that some species of tiny parasitoids were traveling on the body of butterflies, not butterflies, but daytime butterflies. So my parasitoids were very small, just 0.5 millimeters. So I sitting on the body, and they can fly together with butterfly.
Yes, they also attack the eggs of butterflies, I know.
Yes, when butterfly is sitting, parasitoids is coming down and can attack it. This is behavior is a foragy. Foragy is known for different species, even for mantis. For example, some parasitoids hiding under wings of mantis in tropical species. And when mantis is laying eggs, parasitoids coming out and parasitizing eggs of mantis. So,
Yes.
and one species was found flying on the body of dragonfly in Taiwan. So this is parasitism behavior is very tricky. So some parasitoids have very interesting biological features. For example, if you're studying some Anthracnose and some beetles, I guess some Anthracnose may have also some larval parasitoids. And for example, Harmonia axyridis, if you collect larvae of Harmonia axyridis from the nature, you can collect also parasitoid inside larva, because there are some Braconidae, they're attacking larvae and some are attacking adults of Harmonia. I observe it myself.
Adults of Harmonia are very frequently attacked by species of fungi. It's Wabobenialis species of fungi. This species is actually attaching of the in the backside of the body, actually between the end of the elytron and the end of the abdomen of the ladybug, and it kills them very slow.
But there is some species of Braconid parasitoids, Hymenoptera parasitoids. They attack adult of Harmonia. So they're just attacking adult and put egg inside the adult, and then adult is growing very slowly, living slowly, and then keeping just cocoon near the body.
This is, I think, Dinocampus coccinelle.
Yes, right.
Right? Yes, this is the wasp that attacks ladybugs. But in 30% of the cases, the ladybugs actually survive this type of attack.
Yes.
Actually, some forid flies like Protophora fasciata and Media serrata, species of fly belonging to family Tachinidae, also attacks ladybugs. And some of these parasitoids are used to control Harmonia axyridis populations.
Because the study of some natural parasitoids of pets is quite useful for biological control. For example, when I kept some culture of Drosophila flies on my balcony, just on open balcony, some parasitoids were coming directly from the field to my balcony on the 5th floor. So, and I had some flies, I had some larvae and pupae, and some parasitoids of family Pteromalidae were coming, and it's visible. They were just buzzing, sitting down and attacking pupae of Drosophila. So I didn't search them. They were attracted from the field to my balcony.
Yes, they are actually very interesting because they attack various of insects and they feed on them and they eventually kill them. Future projects I have prepared. I plan to breed some species of tiger beetles native to my country, and I really hope that I will succeed with them. For example, the Cicindela hybrida, the western dune, the northern dune tiger beetle. It's native. Actually, it can be found on the coast of Black Sea, and they are found on sand dunes primarily, but they are declining because their habitat is used by people for different
recreation, for rest, for recreation. So
for
this
recreation, yeah. And for different games like beach football and beach volleyball.
Yes,
this
yes.
destroys the host of the larvae. And this is the difference between Harpalus and Cicindela larvae. The Harpalus larvae live in horizontal holes, and the Cicindela larvae are living in vertical holes.
If you made some description in diary, did you put your photos or little video on some pages for scientific study like iNaturalist or identification? Because in iNaturalist, some people can advise you maybe the species name, and you can find some scientists for communication. Did you use
Yes.
iNaturalist?
I'm not using iNaturalist because I will soon, maybe this spring, and I said that I will post some publication on ResearchGate, but you have said me that ResearchGate is not a journal, and I first have to publish this into entomological journal, and then this publication is uploaded to ResearchGate.
For example, I can advise you start from the small observations. For example, for large, very big description, and for large paper, maybe you need to have spent more time. For beginning, you can participate in some conferences. Conference usually publish some abstracts, like one-page description. In one-page description, you can publish some 2 or 3 abstracts in one conference. For example, in entomological conference of Bulgarian Entomological Society or German Entomological Society.
Actually, they can, yes, and I will participate.
So write your description of biology and observations for this Harpalus species, for Harmonia species, for another species as a separate small abstract, because this will be first where you can indicate this is first description of biology of this species. Development of egg like this, development of larva like that, the time is that, temperature is that. So this is a description of breeding in captivity. So this is very useful for repetition, to understand the biology of this species. And for large article, maybe you can publish later with many photos, with some temperature graphics. So first you can start from conferences. Search in internet for conference of Bulgarian Entomological Society. We will accept your abstracts and publish it quickly, so you can later you can modify it and describe it in details for article.
Yes, this is a good idea. I will do this, and so I want to talk about my other projects I'm arranging right now. I am working with soldier beetles, the family Cantharidae. Only one species, Cantharis rustica, I will breed this year, and I think it's very very easy, predaceous larvae. They feed on worms and different snails and slugs.
Do we need substrate, soil, or just paper?
Soil can be very good for them because they live underground. They have interesting common name, the larvae of the soldier beetles. They are called winter worms because they can be active during winter, even walking on snow. For example, here in my region, right now I can see some. When I go out, they search for food when it's not too cold. But if it's too cold, they remain dormant for a long time. And the development takes about 11 to 12 months for the larvae, and then they pupate in April, maybe in the first half of April, and then they come as adults in May. And the mating occurs in mid-May, and then until August, and then the adults die. And
the species Cantaris
rustica, the common soldier beetle, and it's very common. There are around 20 species of Cantaris in my region, and I plan to breed them all. Actually, the most related species to Cantaris rustica is two species, Cantaris fusca and Cantaris obscura. Also, Cantaris rufa is very closely related, and they're distinguished by the pronotal black markings because they are absent in Cantaris rufa. Cantaris rufa have a bright orange pronotum, while Cantaris rustica have one marking in the center of the pronotum.
Have you seen some beetles which are relatives to Cantaridae, but another family, light beetles, which are just flying in evening time, but they are common in forests. And some people I know breeding them in Italy. I have seen publication.
But breeding fireflies is very hard because there are many diseases that attack larvae, and larvae can die very, very fast if the conditions aren't right. And if you touch them, you can bring some bacteria and fungi with your fingers, and they can die. Actually, the food also is very important because it has to be, for example, a big worm has to be cut in pieces and then bring to larvae because now it's they can eat it easily.
Yes.
And the adults are very easy to keep. They are just feeded on different kinds of insects, and then they mate and they live very short in captivity, like Cantaris rustica. I've kept Cantaris rustica, but with not much succeed because adults only live in captivity for about a week because they fly constantly. They are very opportunistic and a very migratory species. They can be found in habitats that are far away from their natural environments where they're found. They are found mostly in grasslands and meadows, surrounded by deciduous woody shrublands, and on big flowers of the family Asteraceae, like the different kinds of wheat. And they feed on insects that are in these flowers, but also the nectar of flowers. In captivity, I'm feeding them a large syrphid fly larvae. Because they have very big body mass and can sustain from one species, from one specimen, 2 or 3 adults of Cantaris rustica can feed on.
I told about about light beetles, because some of Lucilia are very famous in Japan, so they're living in some protected areas in Japan. But when I asked my colleagues about them, they said sometimes during special events, like special holidays, some big national holidays, they're putting them outside from captivity. They're breeding these light beetles in captivity. So they have developed breeding technique. So when they put them just near the park, so people are going to the park for recreation in holiday and enjoy so many beautiful light beetles flying around. Very famous in manga in Japan.
Yes, they are very famous. Japanese people have very big and old traditions in beetle breeding. For example, in rhinoceros beetles and stag beetles like this here, they are very rare Japanese bloodlines of beetles who have red eyes. I've heard that some of the bloodlines that are only found in Japan have unique color differences than this you find on the beetle breeding market outside Japan, and they keep them and they sustain this tradition for decades. They also have traditions in cricket and grasshopper.
Yes, right.
They breed them because of their beautiful stridulation songs.
But there are some special crickets, as you know, some were living underground, very common species. But some species were very rare, very endangered. Some crickets, they have a very big size, about like that, very fat and very big. So it will be very interesting to breed them in captivity because they're not very common, very rare. It's even difficult to find them.
Yes, they are found in protected forests who are unique. They are endemic to some islands, and they are protected by the law. But the most interesting project I'm preparing is actually a interesting family of beetles. I am the first one who attempted to breed them. This is a poorly known family of beetles. If you know them, they are called soft-winged flower beetles, family Meliridae.
Yeah.
This is interesting, and I'm breeding two species of Melirid beetles from the subfamily Malachiinae. I'm breeding Malachius bipustuatus and Malachius eneus. And Malachius eneus, the females of Malachius eneus are unknown, and they can be used to distinguish other species. And different species of Malachius have different patterns, but they can be distinguished males from the females by the antennae. Antennae of the males are bigger and have more spines on them. Well, the females are much larger abdomen and smaller antennae. And I will breed these species. I've documented eggs. They lay their eggs in dry, rotten holes in wood. But the most important is that the wood has to be dry, very dry conditions of the wood. So the egg development develops in dry conditions of the wood. The two species are found in pretty much the same habitat, flower-rich meadows near forests and hedgerows, and often in parks or gardens. They are found sitting on different types of flowers, like dandelion, hawthorn, for example, different kinds of Asteraceae flowers.
And also I told you about abstracts for possible publications. So one small record as well. It will be good if you send this abstract for future, for nearest conferences in Bulgaria, in Germany, maybe in Slovakia, where people, even amateurs, are studying beetles and other insects in captivity. And also you can send even at home in Bulgaria this conference abstract in English. Just start from English, don't worry. People can understand, and this is very convenient for you because you can send later your PDF file with your abstract to your friends, to your colleagues, to show what did you find the first. So this will be your scientific input even as a young student. That's very normal. If you have time, later you have less time when you will be university student. Now if you have some short time for description, write this description in winter time and holidays and send it before busy time.
Yes, because in spring I will be very busy.
Yes.
Breed over 27 species of beetles on different families. I will breed a lot of them, and for example, I will breed some Lucanidae beetles. The only species I'm going to breed is the lesser stag beetle, Dorcus parallelepipedus. It's the most common stag beetle in Europe. It's protected in some countries like Switzerland, Sweden. Actually, I don't know if it's protected in Ukraine. In Bulgaria, isn't protected. In Germany, is protected, and in Spain and Portugal.
Someone wrote the question about giant grasshoppers. I guess it's maybe a question not about giant grasshoppers, but about giant crickets. I guess there are some interesting, unique crickets in Mongolia for sure, because some crickets like dry areas, and Mongolia is weakly studied.
Yes, more people have to go and to study the poorly documented species, because this is very important for the science and for documentation.
But I said about this huge size underground crickets because a couple of years ago I was talking about it in my streams. One new species was 1 or 2 species this size, you see 5-6 centimeters, and very fat one. Cricket was found in Turkish Republic.
Yes.
In Turkey. So Turkey is in some places flattened places, between mountains and dry places. So one entomologist described 2 species from Turkish Republic. So some similar areas with dry places can be in Bulgaria as well.
Yes, for example, in the southern parts of the country,
right,
it's more hot and dry. And many grasshoppers are found there, but many are declining because of the traffic and the human impact on the wildlife here.
Agricultural activity especially, maybe. Bulgaria is famous because of agriculture.
Yes, agriculture is very bad for grasshoppers, especially in the northern part of the country. We've had some very ancient pontic grassland, different grasslands that were very rich in grasshoppers, and then right now they're turned on different agricultural lands, and the grasshoppers are gone.
We have specialists in our Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences in Kyiv, Ukraine, who is studying Orthoptera. His name is Dr. Taras Pushkar. He just made several interesting observations in this year, but especially in Carpathian region. You know, now this is a war in Ukraine, so that's why it's difficult to go to steppe regions. He visited some
Yes.
Carpathian region with mountains, with some hills, forests, and he is very, very diligent, very careful in observations for different grasshoppers and crickets, especially some species living near the rivers, very unique species with narrow wings, they're crawling on sand near rivers, and they're sometimes even swimming sometimes.
Yes, there are different types of groundhoppers, family Tetragidae.
Yes,
and
Tetragidae.
Species from the genus Xia, the unique family. And these crickets are building nests of they are gluing the sand, and they are making cavities in under rocks near rivers. That's probably in Romania. There are many native and endemic species of grasshoppers and bush crickets.
And this interesting Tetragidae, this Tetragidae sometimes like small lakes. In Japan, I observed like where they can swim in small ponds.
Yes. I've breeded some species of Tetragidae. I breeded Tetrix bipunctata and documented the life stages of the nymphs of this species of grasshopper. And this is the only species I've managed to breed. I breeded them in 2021, around 4 years ago, and this was very interesting because I feed them dried plant material. They feed on different algae and moss, so it's better to give them fresh food instead of old food.
And this our specialist, he is a good photographer. He's not making a video, but he's a good photographer. He's always photographing living specimens in a field and also in captivity. So he's bringing some living specimens of grasshoppers in laboratory, put it in a cage, give it food, give some grass, some shrubs, some leaves, and taking a big camera to catch very beautiful macro photo.
Yes. Every species of grasshopper has its own unique host plant, grass or shrub. I'm studying the host plants of grasshoppers, and I found some very interesting details about the food preferences of each species. That each species is specialized in one single grass, but not in every case. Some grasshoppers prefer, for example, the shorter types of grass, and some of them prefer the taller grasses. Some of them prefer bushes and other short plants. So I can see here you have in collection species from the subfamily Meuontinae. I think this is the northern cockchafer, Meuonta hippocastani. This is
no, this is not Melolonta. This is another species. Here,
another species.
I guess Hirta.
Oh, Hirta, yes.
These are two.
I know them.
Many rhinoceros beetle, and one is species Hirta.
Yes.
So, and what is about your plans after you finish your college? What are your plans about? Where do you want to enter university? Maybe I guess study somewhere, study biology or medicine.
I want to study in Germany, in the capital of Germany, in Berlin. I want to study, and then I want to travel, and then to live in South Africa and to discover species.
Do you speak German language?
Yes, I speak German.
Or at least you're studying it, or
yes, I'm studying right now German, but I'm advanced German speaker.
Oh, great! Very good, very good. This will be your advantage. You will be advantage because some lectures can be in German language only, not in English. So, and for communication with scientists in Germany, this is a great advantage.
Yes, and these are my plans. I want to breed as many as I can, and to study and to bring data. I want to breed beetles, different grasshoppers. I want to document every stage of their life and to study the very rare and poorly known species of grasshoppers. I like Orthoptera a bit more than Coleoptera. I'm more interested in grasshoppers, and I want to breed more of them instead of beetles. In beetles, I like mostly the genus Entrenus because they are found in different places. They are use different substrates, different mixture of bird nests, detrite and detrite insects to sustain themselves, and they have long life cycles and interesting behavior and color patterns I want to observe.
You can also make kind of experiment to put 2 species or 3 species together for the competition.
Yes.
For competition, because in some places, like in laboratories and some shops, in some human being stores, there are several species Entrenus can be, but later can survive only one species because of competition.
Yeah.
This is I know this is from discussion with my Coleopterist colleague, because he said, once I observed only one species, but after 10 years, 5 years, in the same place I found only different species because of competition.
Yes. This is interesting. Everyone who is interested in my publications and observation, check out my channel. It's T-Rex 307, and I will be posting here parts of the breeding. I will make long breeding series for each species of beetle I'm breeding. I think in future I can make different mixture of substrates and try them to different species of carpet beetles to see how it works. Different temperature, I have different heat lamps and temperatures to observe them. And the funny thing is that the conditions I'm keeping Entrenus verbacea are a bit more hotter than they prefer. So small part of them died because I kept them on 31 degrees, but the best temperature for them is between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius, and this is the temperature they mostly prefer to incubate their eggs and to trigger oviposition. Actually, I'm feeding them. They are visiting flowers, and I'm feeding them mixture of 25% of sugar and 75% water, and they feed on this diet. And but this does not extend their life so much. They live around 2 weeks in captivity.
Yes, but these observations are very useful and valuable because this is observations for pests, of economically important pests. So that's why if you can write it in some abstract, you can supply to these different conferences, and it can be accepted very well, because this is not just one unknown species, but can be one or two very important, economically important species.
Yes, Anthrunus verbasti is the main pest of insect collections in museums. There are many ways to prevent them. I know some methods like deep freezing the specimens to kill any larvae or eggs, but every new specimen that has been added to a box can contain pupae, eggs or larvae of Anthrunus verbasti. And the best way to prevent them is to remove any bird nests on the roof,
Right,
to
right.
close ventilation shafts and to close windows, and to hermetize the boxes to prevent these beetles to
penetrate the box. So don't allow them to come to the box. And you said you have your YouTube channel. I can make you just one online advice about your channel. Your channel is named T-Rex.
Yes.
But unfortunately, this is very difficult to find you on YouTube. If I type T-Rex, I cannot find you. So yeah, I propose you to change the name. For example, Insects and Entomology in Bulgaria. So in this case, YouTube can find you much more quickly rather than T-Rex.
Yes, this is a good advice.
So change the name, it will be more attractive, and this will be about your subject of your interest in stories. And also, as I told you the same about abstracts, you can make some of your presentations, some interesting PowerPoints. You can make short PowerPoints and small presentations already in English. So type titles, short names under in this present on pictures in English. So you can make presentation in English for different audience, because
yes, I have subtitles on the videos. I have Russian and English subtitles. So it's easy to understand my videos if you just type on the subtitles, and because I added them, because I have many Russian viewers.
But still you have presentations in Bulgarian language. So Bulgarian language completely different. Completely different. It's only a couple words in all presentation can be understood.
Yes.
But English is international. It's a lot of people speak in English, so people can understand better.
Yes.
Also, we have some visitors, one visitor from Japan, so we can send best greetings and best entomological greetings to Japan.
Yes, Japan is a very good country. I really like it. Very rich in biodiversity of insects and plants, animals. They protect their forests violently.
Okay, this person just sent us smile from Japan.
Yes. So best greetings from Japan, from Bulgaria.
Best greetings from Ukraine to Japan, from Kyiv.
Yes.
So do you have one question for me more, so then we can make final questions?
Yes, final questions are, what is your opinion about the bee hotels as a method for protecting wild bee populations? I have bee hotel and I study the bees that are coming into, and different parasitoids like wasps and flies. What do you think about the bee hotels in general?
In general, it depends. In general, it depends from the place where you can put bee hotels. If you put them just in the center of city with small park, the biodiversity of bees and wasps will be very low. And also, but activity of parasites like flies can be very active, so we can suppress it. If you put bee hotels in a village, near forest, near a river, in a village, you can find different types of bee hotels with different tubes, different stems of different diameter, very narrow, very thick, big one, small one. You can observe different species of solitary bees, solitary wasps, osmia wasps, halicto wasps, different one. And when some megachilidae, they come in, big species will be coming to big holes, small species will come to the very tiny stems. So it depends from the place. If you're lucky, so you can collect more.
I have two species of osmia, Osmia bicornis, or famous like Osmia rufa, and Osmia cornuta. Actually, I have some leafcutter bees coming to my hotel, and very big population of phorid flies parasiting.
Yes, right. Unfortunately, these phoridae are destroying very much population of Osmia and other megachilid species. But some megachilidae can live even underground, not only in stems. Some megachila living in different ways in big dead trees, and sometimes even underground, like in holes underground. So in general, this is useful and very easy for observations of solitary bees. For the social bees, more difficult because they are aggressive. But solitary bees, solitary wasps, they are not aggressive at all. They are very tricky. They are just trying to escape. It's difficult to collect them on flowers, and they are just intended to come to the bee hotel, and they can sting solitary bees, but very weakly. But social bees and social wasps, they are more painful.
In my region, I found two species of Vespa hornets, Vespa crabro, the European hornet, and the famous one, Vespa velutina, you talked about it, the Asian hornet, and it's competing with Vespa crabro for habitat and for place for nestling.
Yes, so probably next country will be Romania and next country will be Ukraine for invasion of Vespa velutina.
Yes. This species is very invasive. He comes from Japan, if I'm not mistaken, and
from China, I guess from China.
From China. It's a Chinese species. Like, do you think the giant Asian hornet Vespa mandarinia will come to Europe? For example, the Japanese hornet.
Eventually, everything is coming from China. COVID virus came from China. Yes. So some, because of traffic. Yeah. But maybe Vespa mandarina is more acceptable for warm climate. We don't know precisely. Vespa velutina is very flexible, very adaptable. Maybe we hope that Vespa mandarina is more tropical, subtropical species. We don't know actually.
Yes, and it's not going to come to Europe because there will be very this will be very tragic because this species is very dangerous. It's the most dangerous hornet in the world.
Yes, Vespa mandarina is called in America is a giant killer hornet.
Yes, and maybe it's going to stay in Japan.
And in Southeast Asia. So later you can send me some photos, maybe in summertime, if you can see your hornets, Vespa velutina or like Vespa velutina. You can send me some photos for identification.
Yes, this will be helpful because we will understand better the distribution of this invasive species.
If someone may have photos of hornets in your country and you don't know who is this species, you can send photo on my email. Or just ask me on my channel about these hornets, because Vespa velutina is a very tricky species, invasive, and sometimes very aggressive.
Yes.
So thank you for your stories. Thank you for interview. I hope you had some fun in our discussion. We had been talking about different subjects, different insects.
Yes.
About beetles, about wasps, about bees. So I'm more familiar about parasitoids. So if you will be very careful and observative, definitely one day you can find some of unique parasitoids on your insects, on your larvae and your adults. Because if you said about some tiny beetles, some tiny insects, even very tiny insects, we have very small, tiny parasitoids, 0.5 millimeter and smaller. The smallest parasitoids, 0.2 millimeters. Parasitoids of thrips, very tiny one.
Yes. Yes. They're different. I hope my projects will succeed, and different beetle species will be. I will be posting different photos and videos of them. In the next year, 2026, I will breed grasshoppers and bush crickets, and then I will breed around 50 or 60 species of grasshoppers, native. Some of them will be the rare ones, the very interesting ones that are endemic to my country. And then in the next few years, I will breed more species from the family Dermestidae, some beetles, and then more grasshopper species for documentation and to do some interesting research on them.
Thank you for interview. I wish you success in your entomological observations, in your future plans, in future publications in conferences and in journals, just to make you a motivated person, writes your abstracts for conferences, make new cultures of insects in your home laboratory for unique observations, be devoted biologist and entomologist, and future student of university for sure. So you keep your dreams in mind and keep cooperation with scientists, ask questions, and your dreams come true, as English people say.
Oh, yes, I hope that I will succeed. It was I was glad to be here and talk to you right now. This was planned around 2 months ago to make this stream, and it's the dreams come true.
Okay, thank you. I hope it gave you a little bit motivation and some ideas useful for your self-development.
Thank you for the interview, Dr. Fursov. It was very interesting.
See you soon in next streams, maybe later. Why not?
Yeah.
We have just a lot of things for discussion, so we can meet next time and talk more in new streams about entomology.
Yes.
This is just our first stream. See you soon on internet. And for people who is visiting us first time, subscribe to my channel and to subscribe to channel T-Rex or Insects of Bulgaria, entomological insects, entomology and insects in Bulgaria of Bogdan. So welcome to our channels about entomology, science about insects. See you soon on our channels. Subscribe to our both channels or just make donations. Why not? This is very positive feedback.
Yes. Thank you for joining and have a great day.
Have a great day. Good luck. Bye-bye. Best greetings from Ukraine.
Best greetings from Bulgaria.
As I say, Ukraine forever. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Okay, we just finished our stream on telephone, on smartphone, and I can finish my stream directly online on my computer. So here I was oriented more to show you my insects and my boxes for people in smartphone. You see here smartphone. And now I'm online on computer on StreamYard, because StreamYard is showing for less people, but it has horizontal view and also will be on YouTube for later. Hopefully you have heard some details of our discussion, but without face of my visitor of my channel. So if you are interested in his channel T-Rex and in our direct online discussion, you can visit second file, which has been recorded already, and will be all together on this channel. So thank you for coming. Maybe we had different audience on StreamYard and on smartphone, but no, never mind. I was trying to ask interesting questions, and I hope we had interesting discussion with Bogdan from Sofia, Bulgaria. Thank you for your curiosity. Thank you for visiting my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you are a first-time visitor. Welcome to visit other streams and other videos on my channel. Press like, write your comments, and make donations. And ask your questions on my email, as I showed already. You can ask your questions directly in private message on email. Private message is secret message, so you can ask questions or send photos about your activities in entomology with insects, or about your problems with insects, or your curiosity in insects. So welcome to communicate, welcome to collaborate. And don't forget, subscribe, press like, write comments. Best greetings to Japan and other countries. See you soon on my channel. The sooner the better, and Ukraine forever. Bye-bye.